Hi everyone! In this video I am happy to show you Kat Von D's brand new 2 butterfly inspired eyeshadow palettes. They are the Chrysalis eyeshadow palette and the Monarch eyeshadow palette. And these palettes are currently available through Sephora. I will put a direct link to where you can purchase them in the description box for your convenience. They are $46 each. As always, you can go to allurabeauty.com for more in-depth reviews for both of the palettes and more detailed photographs of the swatches that I will do for you in this video. The link to the blog sale is in the description box, as well as sneak peeks to upcoming MAC videos. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoy watching it or if it helps you decide whether you want to buy these palettes or not. And let's get to swatching. So first up, we'll look at the Monarch eyeshadow palette. And the palette itself is made of very thick and heavy-duty cardboard. Each has the cover of the palette designed with a butterfly. They stay shut via a magnet, and you get a full-sized mirror inside. Each palette contains 12 eyeshadow colors, 3 larger ones and then 9 smaller ones. So starting with the larger eyeshadows at the top, from left to right we have Entomology, Telepathy, and Tiny Death. For the smaller shades here we have Wrath on the very left, Papilio, Summerfly, Killing Jar, Delaney, Vanish, Disintegration, Shadowbox, and Deadhead. As always, I'm swatching these over primer. So starting with the 3 large colors, Entomology is a yellow tinted cream shade with a satin finish. Telepathy is this very pale taupe champagne with a shimmering frosty finish. And Tiny Death is a cream, more of a beige cream with silver glitter particles. So there are the first 3 shades. These are the large shades from the palette. For the smaller shades, first we have Wrath, which is this burnt, very orange-based brown with tiny orange shimmer. Papilio is another warm-based deep brown with a slightly golden frosty sheen. And Summerfly is this bronzed gold with gold metallic flakes. Here are those set of 3 shades up close. Next we have Killing Jar, which is this soft, dusty rose with a frosty finish. Delaney is this tauped silver with a frosty finish. And Vanish is this soft, tauped fawn color with a matte or satin finish. There's the next set of 3 up close. Next is Disintegration, which is a very deep, slightly golden tauped brown with a frosty sheen. Next is a deep milk chocolate brown with a satin finish. And this shade is Shadowbox. Last is Deadhead, which is a midnight carbon black, again with a matte finish. And there are those last 3 shades up close. Second is the Chrysalis palette, which has the same design but a different color scheme. Again, it opens up with a full-size mirror inside and 12 shadows, with 3 of them being much larger. And here's what the shades look like up close. Left to right at the top we have Lifelike, Lunar Lights, and Lucid. On the far left we have Hybrid Moments, Mezzanine, Transition, Glasswing, Melancholia, Black Milk, Graphic Nature, Entombed, and Tournay. Starting with the large shadows at the top of the palette, Lifelike is a very pale cream with a satin finish. Lunar Lights is this shimmering frosty off silver, so it's not quite silver, it has this hint of gray and taupe to it. And Lucid is this very pale pink with a hint of lilac, and it has silver glitter particles. Okay, so here are the first three shades. For the first of the smaller eyeshadow shades, Hybrid Moments is a deep eggplant purple with a matte finish. Mezzanine is a brighter grape purple with violet glitter particles. And Transition is a frosted, silvered, light plum. There's your first set of the three smaller shadows. Next is Glasswing, which is a soft, cool-toned nude brown. Melancholia is this tauped pewter shade with a very frosty finish. And Black Milk is this very cool-toned gray with a matte finish. So there's your second set of three colors. Graphic Nature is this charcoal color with a slightly frosty finish. Entombed is this deep ocean blue with a metallic finish. And Tournay is a deep, very deep navy blue that looks almost black and has a matte finish. Here's your last set of three shades. Alright, so there is a look at both of Kat Von D's new butterfly-inspired palettes. Obviously, the Monarch palette is a neutrals palette, and the Chrysalis palette is a colored palette based mostly on blues and purples. So if you are interested in colors, it's pretty easy to make a decision because they don't really overlap. They do have a couple of similarly taupe-toned shades and cream-colored shades, but you don't really need my help in terms of choosing the palettes if you are focused on the colors that are offered. If you are focused mainly on the quality of the formula of the shadows, I think hands down the formula of the shadows in the Monarch palette, which is the neutrals palette, is clearly superior to the formula overall of the shades in the Chrysalis palette. The Chrysalis palette had more stiff shadows, shadows that went on more patchy, not as smoothly over the skin, and some of the first shades at the top, the three big shades, were actually a bit chalky and didn't adhere as well compared to the shades in the Monarch palette. The Monarch palette pretty much is across the board, has shadows that are opaque, buttery smooth, and apply very evenly over the skin. I am extremely impressed with the quality of the shadows for every single shade in the Monarch palette. The only thing that makes it just short of absolutely perfect is the last couple of matte shades, that deep midnight black and the deep brown. They are just shy of perfect when swatched on my arm, which is a very long length of skin to apply a shadow to, and so actually I think once you use them in a practical sense, which is applied to your eyes, you won't see any streakiness or patchiness. But pretty much I would say that this palette, the Monarch palette, is perfect or nearly perfect. And I do want to note, I think the Chrysalis palette is definitely a good quality palette. It's by no means a mediocre or poor palette, so if you're definitely someone who focuses on using purple and blue based shades, then I do think that it is a good palette to invest in and it is worth the money. But compared to the Monarch palette, I don't think that it is equal in quality. So please share your thoughts with me in the comment section below. Maybe tell me which palette you prefer, if you like the Monarch palette better or the Chrysalis palette better. The other thing I just want to mention is some of these names of these shadows sort of creep me out. They're a little eerie and morbid. So I understand the whole practice of preserving dead butterflies for showcase and things like that. But naming a color something like Disintegration or Deadhead or Killing Jar, that sort of creeps me out a little bit. I wish that there were slightly more flattering names for some of these shades, but you know, that's sort of the creative license that someone gets when they get to name eyeshadow colors. So anyway, let me know what you think. I hope this helped you if you were interested in one or both of these palettes. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.